Hi, I want to introduce you to our project Improve Inclusive Methods in Professional Volunteering in Europe on European level. It was a project funded by the European Union in the program Erasmus Plus, and it allowed us 3 years to improve inclusive volunteering in Europe. We that are the Volunteer Center in Ustinablavim as a coordinator and us as Gemeinsam Leben und Lernen in Europa, which is a volunteer-led organization in Germany with two disability centers in Italy and in Lithuania. And together, we wanted to improve the situation that people with disabilities and mental health issues could volunteer. Because we strongly believe everyone can volunteer. Even if you have restrictions due to cognitive problems, learning problems, physical disabilities, but also because of mental health, doesn't mean that you have something to give, something to contribute to society. And when we started to work in the field of inclusive volunteering, we realized usually it's not the people who want to volunteer who are the problem, but it's the society. NGOs who actually look for volunteers don't feel comfortable enough to host volunteers with a restriction because they don't feel fit that they could support them or help them, or in a way they're insecure or they expect to have like the perfect volunteer. But also parents and caregivers are sometimes a barrier because they think that their children or that their clients are not able to volunteer. And sometimes information is not getting through because they think this is not good for my son, my daughter, or my clients. And the other one, which is a restriction, are us, the general public. We usually look at people with disabilities or people with mental health problems as someone who needs our help. But we don't see them as people who can provide help, who can provide support, who do good things for our society. And so there are a lot of restrictions, and this is what we came to target in our free use program by a very comprehensive project setting. What was our plan? We thought how to overcome the barriers into volunteering. So we thought to create position of an inclusion body that is a companion or contact person for people with disabilities or mental health issues, but also for the volunteer involving organization. We worked on promoting of inclusive volunteering and provided training for volunteer involving organizations. We provided information, consultation, and training offers for disability facilities, caretakers, and parents. And we wanted to start to build up on support structures for people with disabilities or mental health issues who want to volunteer. So we provided training opportunities, counseling services, and we matched them with an inclusion body if that was needed. And to reach out for the general public, we did all kinds of forms of promotion and dissemination activities to promote inclusive volunteering in a bigger scale. So to give you a more insight in what we did, first of all, we created this volunteer position of an inclusion body. An inclusion body is a volunteer without a disability. That person is a companion and contact person, not only for the person with disabilities, but also for the volunteer involving organization. So, for example, in this picture, you see inclusion body fronts on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, you can see Christian, a volunteer who is blind. Front supports Christian, to find his way, and also sometimes supports him if the information he gathers, needs to go into our system and whatever. And of course, he leads them if that is needed. But of course, he can be a support for the volunteer involving organization who never thought a blind person could work for them. So helping, especially at the beginning, this is where an inclusion body can be of value, so that the volunteer involving organizations feel safe, that there is someone just in case something goes wrong to rely on. That was especially the case with our volunteers with disabilities. So both sides felt well. And in our experience, usually the inclusion body is not needed for a long term. For most of the time, it's about connecting the both and making them both sides feel safe. And then sometimes after 3 days, inclusion body was not needed anymore because the organization and the volunteers got the heck how things work out, and volunteering was possible. Then we thought to overcome the fears and stereotypes and prejudges of volunteer involving organization. We provided training, we provided counseling services for NGOs who got interested in involving volunteers with disabilities or mental health issues in their organization. And what was very important, that we spoke from practice. So all of us had volunteers with a restriction in our own organization, which was very helpful to showcase that things are possible. The third thing we did, we provided information, consultation, and training opportunities for organizations who work with people with disabilities or provide home or work shelters. We talked to caretakers, and we did special sessions with parents. Because I think, which was very, very important, to showcase it is possible and we need your support. Because if a caretaker or parents doesn't give the information to their child or client, then they might never find out that they are able to volunteer. And also, of course, some support is always needed. So if they get the feeling that they can't do it, that's a problem. Or if they say, oh, I don't want to have additional work helping him or her to go to their volunteer place, then it's a problem as well. So I think it was a lot of work making sure, hey, you want the best for your child, you want the best for your client, and giving them at least the opportunity to volunteer if they want. They can be active, they can be part of society, they can make new contact, they can showcase what they want, and they feel more needed as well. And of course, one of the most important things is we provided this information that you can volunteer for people with disabilities and mental health issues. So we provided counseling, we provided training sessions, we provided info sessions, we produced a photo book to showcase, hey, you can volunteer if you are interested in doing so, and we will support you. So we organized the matching with the fitting NGO. We provided an inclusion buddy if the volunteer needed special support. And of course, we also organized own volunteer activities. For example, Check My City, where people with disabilities check their city. How inclusive are all the places which are important for everybody? Or we did discussion, public debates, and all kinds of joint activities, for example, a cleanup activity or something, so that they also can start volunteering in a group if they feel more comfortable in this way. And of course, to reach out for the general public, we did all kinds of activities. Something we are very proud of is now we have a traveling exhibition. Everyone can volunteer. And there we showcase 20 people from our 4 countries who volunteer in different fields and have different kind of restrictions. And so you can see with real life example how diverse volunteering can be, and that how diverse we are as human beings. You can volunteer. This is also showcased in a photo book, which we produced in easy language so that people with disabilities can use it. But we also produced a photo book for NGOs and caretakers and parents so that they can see what are the benefits of volunteering, not only for the people with disabilities or mental health issues, but also for the NGO and of course for our society. We also did stakeholder breakfasts where we invited local disability centers and institutions, but also NGOs who work with volunteers so that they connect, that they get to know each other and that they get to know our project better and that we connect better in the region, because we need volunteer positions in our region, because it's not enough just someone wants to volunteer. They need a place where they can volunteer. So networking on local level was a key of success. And of course, we did also public work. For example, we did a public debate in Passau with the candidates running for becoming mayor and or members of the Bavarian parliament or of the district government. And we invited people with disabilities and mental health issues to come to this event and ask the questions they have. And so it was sometimes the first time some politicians, talk to people directly and not only to the bosses of institutions. You will find all the results, the training sessions, the training material, the photo books, whatever you look for, you will find on our website, Professional Volunteering EU, and you can download it for free because we really want you to copy us and we want to share our knowledge because we want this society to be more inclusive. And of course, watch our video. Everyone can volunteer. So use our material, copy us, and make sure that even in your city, in your town, in your village, people with disabilities and mental health issues are able to contribute actively to society and can volunteer and make our communities a better place. So do it.